Okay, so in this we're making honeydew melon sorbet. So you want to use a serrated knife to cut the honeydew melon right down the center. When you cut into it, you want to make sure that it's ripe, and you're going to see a lot of seeds. So after this, split it and cut one and cut down the middle of one of them. Take one of those, cut the seeds out, and then you're going to make sure after that you get all of the seeds out. You want to make sure that there are no seeds in your sorbet. This is a very big thing because we don't need any seeds. So now you're going to take it off the rind. This may take a while, and once you go from one side, you're going to want to go from the other side as well, so that you can get it out without any of the rind on it. When you get it out, it might be a little slippery, so you might want to keep it on your cutting board. And then for the second one, cut it off to the side, and you're going to keep it, the second one of the first section you used, on the cutting board. Continue to cut them out. The honeydew melon is green, and it's a little bit hard to work with, considering how slippery it is. So you want to make sure that you're very careful with your knife, because it is very easy to cut yourself while you are making your honeydew melon sorbet or cutting it out from the rind. So you want to make sure that you are being very careful and mindful of where your knife is at all times. And if you are new to knives, you can go to my cooking tips area and see some knife skills. And I also did a section on Knife 101, so you can go look at that if you're new to knives, and it'll tell you some more things. And if you want to see knife videos on how to cut, you can comment or email me about that. So this is the third one. Make sure you're using the whole melon. And for this video, if you're coming from YouTube, make sure to go check out my my blog, and the link will be in this description below. And if you are coming from my blog, you can check out my YouTube channel, which is what this video is on. So you want to cut out the melon, and this is the fourth one, so we're almost done. I just ate a little bit of the melon. So now you're going to want to get your cutting board mostly clean, and you're going to take it and slice it with a non-serrated knife, because the serrated knife will be a little bit harder to use to dice your honeydew melon. This dicing is another method of cutting. So again, if you're new to cutting, you can go to my Knife Skills 101, which is on my blog. It is a page that I do. And so once you cut up each one of the melons, you can put it into a bowl. And they're very slippery, so they might be a little hard to get into the bowl. So I'm just going a little fast, and they may slip off of the cutting board like it did right there. So you just want to make sure, again, that you're mindful of where your knife is and where your hands are. And honeydew melons are very good, so people like to steal them. So make sure you get all of them in. It's okay if not all of them get in. It's not a very precise recipe, but you do want to make sure that you have a good-sized melon before you start. So if you do not know how to cut, or you are younger, you may want to get somebody to help you with this, or get an adult if you're younger to help you with the cutting part, which can be hard if you are younger or you don't know a lot about cutting. You can take cutting courses online and at other places, or you can just look on my blog, again, repeating myself a lot. So you want to make sure that the chunks of the honeydew melon, you can dice them thin, or you can dice them not very big, but they can be medium-sized. So get them all into your bowl and just let them sit for a little while, because honey melon is a fruit and they can benefit from sitting. If you want to put sugar, it can bring out the natural juices in it. So you can use a food processor, and that's in the next segment. So now what you're going to want to do is add the honeydew melon to a food processor. You can do about half of the honeydew melon first, which is all that can really fit into the food processor. So now you're going to want to get it on top of the blender. Make sure that it's securely fastened in the blender, and check your blender before you start because it can not work. So here I'm cutting a lime, and I'm squeezing the juice of one lime into the honeydew melon and food processor. So if your lime isn't ripe, it can be a little hard to get out of the food processor. Right here, I'm just cutting down on it to get a little bit of the juices out and loosen the juices out of the lime. And now I'm using the other side, which you want to get all of the juice as much as possible because it's going to give it a very nice flavor. And so now you're going to want to take 3 tablespoons of honey. And if you want, this is a trick that I learned a while ago, you take non-stick cooking spray and you spray a thing that you're using to put it in to measure. And then the honey will come out seamlessly. So now I'm just putting the melon to start it up with it, because I just wanted to pulse it a little bit to get it to get the chunks a little bit smoother than they were before. So now I'm taking the top off and I'm adding the other half of the honeydew melon into the food processor to get it in, and I'm adding a little bit more lime juice. If you have any more, you can use it. I'm just trying to get a little bit more out. And now I'm taking, as well as the juice, the zest of the lime, which gives it an even more underlying flavor, and it adds to the flavor profile of the dish. So try and get as much of the zest off of the lime as you can, because it's really going to add to the flavor and the underlying flavor textures too. And now I'm just going to put extra honeydew melon in, and make sure it's mixed in with all of the other ingredients. So now you can just not pulse, and then it will be easier after. So after you've done that, put all of the ingredients into the bowl you were using before and get ready for the next segment. Okay, so for this we're just using a finger multiplier to just get the honeydew melon to a smoother texture, because you don't want chunky flavor. And so you can use one of these if you don't have a high powered blender or food processor, which is in most cases. So I would definitely recommend to use one of these if your blender is not the highest quality, or your food processor for that matter, because they can be a very great help to get to the texture that you need, but it does not replace a food processor. So now what you're going to want to do is take a cookie sheet or baking pan with parchment paper over it, and then spread out your honeydew melon sorbet mixture over it. And then you're going to want to take a spatula and spread it thoroughly so that it's a thin layer over the parchment paper. This may take a while because of the texture, but make sure you get it to all four corners and that it's all spread out. And so if you see any seeds, then you're going to want to take them out. I'm just doing a chopping movement to get it to spread out even more. So now you're going to want to put it in the freezer for 3 hours. And when it comes out, it's going to be frozen. So you're going to want to take it off of the parchment paper and put it into a bowl. So this makes about 4 servings and is a great way to enjoy a very healthy fruit. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and please comment if you'd like to see more types of frozen fruits and sorbets and stuff like that.